What is going on, guys? I am Jaye Black. Shout out to everybody that is tuning in. I want to do some expanded commentary on Nicole Ari Parker, Boris Kojo situation, and why there is no difference between wanting a single life and being single. There's no difference. Now, there are some people, and notably, I think women, probably some guys as well. I know some of these guys they think like women. They want to make it seem like, because in the video I said that she misses being single, which she does. Whenever you say you missed a single life, you miss being single. There's no difference. I'm sorry, because you can't miss one without the other. But people who have no logic and common sense are going to think that the two are different, and they're not. Now, y'all know I did the video. If you haven't, I'll put a link in the description box and in the comment section. Also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe to this channel. And if you haven't, subscribe to the other channel. I'm Jaye Black. I did that classic commentary, man, on that situation. And I really spoke about how Nicole pretty much feels like a lot of women who've been married or in relationships for a long time. With the advent of social media, because again, she got married before social media, became what it is. A part of her miss being able to get, guys flirting with her, DMing her, going on dates, flying around. Because that's how I read the situation. You can listen to somebody, see, words and actions are different. You can tell by Boris's body language that he was caught off guard. You can tell that, he was learning something about his wife that he didn't know. And that happens, Some of us are not very good at hiding our body language if we don't like something. Some of us don't have very good, poker face, Now, I want y'all to understand there is no difference between wanting the single life and not wanting to be single. Listen, you can't say that you don't miss being single, but you miss the single life without missing being single. And then you name the reasons why you like the single life, which will lead people to believe that you like being single. There are people out there that they get tired of their spouse, and that's what the quarantining is doing. Like, you're seeing a spike. That I think I read somewhere where there's a spike in divorces in some cities, or divorce attorneys being contacted mainly by women. Because when you have a working couple, right, that is gone most of the day, they're at work, they're out and about, maybe they're traveling. Now they have to be around each other, and that relationship is tested. And then they realize that they really don't like each other. They don't really have much in common. They liked each other at first, but now they don't really have anything in common. They have more in common with the people that they work with every day than their spouse, which leads to infidelity on both sides, which is probably what's happening. Because trust and believe, a couple, especially a couple that's young and may have gotten married young and are working, decent looking people, trust and believe they have other people they're dealing with, both the men and the women. They're dealing with other people. But for financial reasons, they stay together. Okay. Which is what a lot of these working couples do now. If you have two people who are making decent money and, they don't want to be single, especially if they're living in a New York or Los Angeles where it's expensive, they feel like it's better to be together and share the financial responsibilities, whether it be in a relationship or married. Now, the guy may make more than her. Let's say the guy does make more, but he sees that, he likes her, she has her own money, so he doesn't have to fund her, but he still is the head of the household because he makes more, which is fine. But still, it works that they're together because maybe, he had a, two-parent household. Maybe she had a two-parent household. He wanted marriage, she wanted it, but now she's having second thoughts because she enjoys her freedom, being able to flirt with guys, being able to get attention from other men. Because y'all got to understand, it's like the Ayesha Curry effect. And I may do a separate video on that. The Ayesha Curry effect is when you have a woman who is very considered wholesome, who is not an attention seeker, who seems like a good wife and a good mother. Most guys, if they respect that woman's husband and her, they won't approach her. They won't flirt with her. They won't try to get with her behind her husband's back. And the truth is that women don't want a life like that, especially if they feel like they are attractive. This is why you're seeing married women hopping on IG Lives, Natalie Nunn, and are dancing in front of Tory Lanez and hundreds of thousands of people, but claim that she's doing it to promote his music. And I did a video on that too. Y'all can check it out. If any woman does that, she doesn't have any self-respect. If you have to go that route to promote your husband or boyfriend's music, you wanted to do that anyway. You were just looking for an excuse, okay? You just wanted an excuse. And then you're pouring all these different things on yourself. It's like, how low can you go to get the attention, And then you say that you don't want to be a boring wife, which is what it was always about. It wasn't about promoting his music. It was about, you not wanting to be a boring wife. Okay. And that's a lot of marriages today, especially with a lot of millennials. These women have social media. They're getting attention from men all over the world. That's where their self-esteem comes from. It doesn't come from their spouse. It comes from social media. And Nicole understands that. She sees her friends online. She doesn't want to be considered the boring wife. She wants to have fun too. She wants men to lust after her. Just look at Ayesha Curry, man. I mean, I like Ayesha. I don't think she's a bad person at all. But when you say that, you want attention as well in your relationship because you see the attention that Steph gets, that's a recipe for people seeing something wrong there. But people are different these days, man. People are different. They want their cake and they want to eat. They want their cake and they want to be able to eat it too. They want to be married to that one person, in a relationship with that one person, but they don't want the attention to go away. They still want to get guys flirting with them, DMing them. Now, don't let the women putting DMs on blast fool you. They're only doing that to basically take people off the scent, because they're not going to show you all those DMs. They're not going to, they're not going to show you everything. They're going to show you some things, but they're not going to show you everything. Okay? And we really have to take that into consideration. Things are different nowadays, and unfortunately, couple and relationships are just different these days. That's why I don't know if there's a such thing as monogamy anymore, because with social media, if you have an attractive woman who likes to get her IG modeling on, it's going to be hard for that woman to be faithful. Just like it's going to be hard for any man to be faithful if he's getting attention from women constantly, because she's going to be getting attention from men who she really wants to be with, but she's not with, you know what I'm saying? Just people will say certain things and then their actions will be different. Like, you know how these couples will go on these reality shows, right? These court shows, and she's talking about how he's messing around with different women. And then he turns around and say, well, you messing around with dudes, and she'd be like, well, you started first. And it's like, well, what's the point of you pointing out his infidelity when you're being unfaithful, And I'm telling you, man, like, and I saw this meme where this female, I guess this female on Facebook said, well, if he messes around, I'm not going to argue with him. I'm just going to spend the weekend with my ex. That is the mindset. Trust and believe that ex is on speed dial, especially if it's an ex that she still wants to be with. Because trust and believe, there's a lot of women getting into rebound relationships, and they're only with the new guy just so they don't be alone. Just so they don't be alone, they're with the new guy. That's all it's about. And people have to understand the difference, man. Which is why those relationships don't last. Because once that guy realizes that he's the rebound, he's out of there. And she's back to being single. So there's a big difference between, and there is no difference between being single and wanting the single life. There's no difference. You can word it any way you want to, but when you make things public, you basically show people that, you know, you really don't want to be in the situation you're in anymore. Like if you really had a problem with your relationship, you would tell your husband straight up. Now I know people want to be so honest these days, but women are very calculating. Women are very calculating, man. They only make moves for strategic reasons, but especially when it comes to men. Now, every other part of life, I'm not sure. But when it comes to men, man, they have a way of being honest and real with you, you know, to the point to where you realize that, you know, she, you know, has one foot out the door, which is what I said about Nicole. Like, Nicole is with a guy that a lot of women would want to be with, just based off of the reactions that I have seen. You know, women like the guy, you know, they think he's attractive. He would be considered their type, but she's been with him so long, she doesn't really care about that. You know, she wants to be able to experience what other women are experiencing. You know, it reminds me of these women who divorce these athletes, right? Because they still think they got it. They will divorce these athletes and they'll go out there and be single, and they're never able to get another guy that they had before. A guy who's just overly successful, talented, famous. They're never able to get that. So they will go back and forth. Like it reminds me of Kevin Garnett's ex-wife. Like, she's really trying to squeeze this man for every dime she can, because she's single and she still ain't been able to get a guy who equals his success. So you want to be able to take it out on him because he's moved on to another woman who's younger and more attractive. You are still single. You are you're a housewife. You're a, you know, house mom. You know, you don't have any career going on. You really don't have anything going on. So we really have to look at this and understand that we have to really listen and interpret what people are saying. And there's really no difference between, you know, being single and wanting a single life. You can say you don't want to be single all you want to, and maybe that's true. But that doesn't mean that there's a difference.